Alright, part 2. Let's see. I think this I just, cut and paste. I couldn't break it down. Just because a theist believes that someone will hold him accountable for his actions does not make him arrogant. Alright, fine, granted. But then you change subjects, right? Instead of being faithful that there is a creator who's got some scales that's going to judge you and throw you in heaven or hell when you die, you go to man-made laws, which are totally different. If someone commits a crime, the government will punish them, not because they are paying him special attention, but because they've made laws that everyone must follow. Right. We made them. Us, people. Us, dumb people, have this vague sense of what's right and wrong, and we make laws according to what we feel. What we feel is right and what we feel is wrong, or what we have learned to be right and learned to be wrong, and then we make laws accordingly. And if someone breaks those laws, then we punish them the way that we've decided that we should punish them for breaking those laws. So arrogance versus law-breaking, man-made laws, there's no point here. The issue of comparing God's existence to that of leprechauns doesn't completely make sense. 1. God is supposedly unknowable. Not all religions claim God to be unknowable. Maybe the Baha'i faith does. Fine. Are leprechauns inherently knowable? I don't think so. 2. Religious texts are some sort of proof of God. Now this is the point where we're going to disagree. I do not think that religious texts are some sort of proof of God. Religious texts are clearly written by men. Men are fallible. Sometimes they can be historically accurate. There are some things that are mentioned there, and you can usually tell the difference when you're reading them. I remember reading a couple of sections in the Torah, and the tone changes. As soon as they start talking about miracles, it's like, this is like fairy tale here. But then they'll go into detail about, okay, and then this battle happened over here, and Joseph moved his army over on this side of the mountain. The tone's totally different. It's a mishmash of something that really happened or based on a real event versus something that's totally miraculous. It doesn't fit. They don't jive together. As a whole, the book doesn't ring true, though there might be some true parts to it, true-ish parts to it. 3. The ideology of leprechauns has not prevailed in the face of extreme suppression, blah, 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 blah. This is a logical fallacy. Yes, lots of people can be wrong about believing a certain thing, period. As the number of people, or the number of people that believe in a thing, or how long they've managed to believe in that thing against adversity has no bearing on whether that thing is true or not. Objective evidence is the only thing that points to something's truthfulness or not the number of people or how hard it is to believe in it. Okay, next point. Do you know everything about the whole universe? No, I don't. Nobody does. So, clearly there's possibility for this God to exist. Well, the Abrahamic God is an impossible creature. He can't be omnibenevolent and omniscient all at the same time. There's logical conflict there. He's also you get a couple of I don't even know what it's called, self-contradictory properties, like, can God make a rock so heavy that he can't lift it? You see how that is? Like he's either not all powerful or he's not all powerful. It's like a self-defeating property. So those types of things logically disprove the concept. But then beyond that, we use probability as a way of determining what's likely and what's not likely. The likeliness of something starts ending up towards 0. However many decimal places it takes, it's a pretty safe assumption that it is not real, right? You don't have to be ever 100% positive about something to be operationally sure that it's not real or that it is real. Besides that, I don't think you had any other points. Don't get frustrated. People have to come to accept knowledge as veritable in their own time and of their own accord. If you try to force them into believing something, then you've stooped to the same levels of fundamentalist evangelical Christian. I totally agree. A person should be given the opportunity to make that decision for themselves. They just need to be given all of the facts, unbiased, uncolored, without any sort of agenda. Just give them the facts and let them decide. That's how it worked for me. I think that's the only way to really change. Somebody has to change their own opinion, and that you do that by allowing them to do it. You do that by giving them all of the information they need and letting them make that change by themselves. And they either will or they won't, because people feel their way through and then justify it later. The religion as a progressive thing is a good example of that. You feel that it's right and then you rationalize it later. You kind of pretend to yourself that the rationalization actually makes sense when it doesn't. You've broken the rules of what you're trying to rationalize. I think that's how a lot of us came to be atheists, is because we realized what the kind of mental acrobatics we were doing to ourselves to keep ourselves in belief. And it's kind of tiring. Eventually, when you come to the conclusion that you are over-rationalizing something and there isn't any objective evidence to keep you in this position, then it falls apart. And it is a difficult thing, and I understand why somebody in a religion clings so tenaciously to it, because they're emotionally invested in it, especially if it's the religion of their family. There's trust with people in their family. Loved ones have told them these things, so of course they accept them as true, and to rationally discover that they are false, then all of a sudden trust with people is broken, and that's a very, very powerful emotional need. You will try to rationalize that just to keep trusting the people you love. That's enough of this. It's enough!